Hey, it's me, and today I have a book talk for you. We're doing Life in Motion, An Unexpected Ballerina by Misty Copeland. Or Copland. Copeland. If you don't know who Misty is, she's an African-American ballerina, and this is her story. Well, biography. This book's a biography, if you didn't know. This story is about African-American ballerina named, obviously, Misty, because it's a biography, and her story on growing up as like a 14-year-old ballerina to where she was when she wrote this book at the time. And the story starts off about telling us about her breakout role as the Firebird. It's where she got her start. What made her Misty Copeland or Copeland, the African-American ballerina. We learned that she was sort of scouted to become a ballerina because she lived in a ghetto neighborhood. She lived in not a great neighborhood. So they had this program where they were trying to get people who didn't have the opportunity to become a ballerina and be in these expensive programs. And that's how Misty got to her studio. And Misty started off in her preteens. She was, I think, 13, and that's pretty late to start off in dancing. Most kids start dancing when they're 6, when they could start walking. So Misty was at a disadvantage. She started late, and she didn't have, she started late. She didn't have the opportunity that everyone else had. It was pretty good. She was a prodigy. She started late. She didn't live in a great neighborhood, yet she did point pretty early, I think, 3 months in, and that's early. Like, we also learned how strict the ballerina corporations are. If she wanted to perform somewhere that didn't have to do with the American Ballet Company or whatever it was called, it would take like months. You would have to sign out. You have to sign a lease on it. There was a whole thing, and it was pretty shocking. I thought becoming a ballerina was pretty easy. Besides, you couldn't eat at all. You just had to be skinny, thick skin, You had to be really skinny. I thought that was it, and had terrible feet because you're always on your feet and dancing. But it was a lot harder than that, and you really learn a lot about that in this book. I expected this book to be all about being a ballerina and all the technique and days on and on and on about going to the studio, learning how to do a jeté and how to be on point. There were some really shocking things in this book. She met Prince. She knew Prince. She was friends with Prince. She would perform with him. In the book, she would talk about how he would sort of show up a year and they would hang out and then disappear for a year. They weren't BFFs always together, but they had a friendship. I think in the book there's actually a picture. Yeah, look. It's a picture of her performing with Prince. Prince? Misty. I read reviews on the book, and the main thing that keeps showing up is it's not well written. You could tell it's not written by some great author or anything, but I feel like she's a ballerina. She didn't do schooling to become a writer. She wants to be a ballerina. So I wasn't really affected by it. I thought it was a good book. If you want to learn about growing up as an African-American ballerina, I would read it. If you don't want to, don't read it. It was still okay. I give this book 3 out of 5 stars, maybe a 67%, not 67, a 64. It was a good book. It was a good book. I don't know. It's not my go-to book. My go-to book is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Check it out, people. Solorian for life. That's my review on Life in Motion, An Unexpected Ballerina by Misty Copeland or Copland. The book was good. Check it out if you want to. And peace. thanks. Oh my god. Life in Motion? And then, okay, I can't. The book starts off telling, oh my